Okay. So, I chose Eli as my focus child this semester. So, one of the first things we had to do was developmental assessment. So, I'm going to share that with you.
Okay.
And so, he pretty much checked off on like most of the skills for a 4-year-old. And so, I had started this before his birthday. So, he pretty much, he was good with like social emotional, trying new things, role playing with the other kids, language and communication. He was able to like sing our songs at several times, communicate his needs for the most part. And then also his cognitive skills are really good. I'm gonna close this door too.
No problem.
With like how he draws and paints, and just like keeping that focus during our activities. And so some of the things we were working on is, of course, like the separation anxiety. So that was like a big thing for him.
Yes.
And so I found that once I implemented the social stories, that really helped with like the little book. And so before, he was constantly asking like, when's my daddy picking me up? When's my daddy picking me up? Like all day long. And so I had used like the family pictures, like these. And so I had like put him up on the clock, and then he was able to tell me himself like, oh, my daddy's picking me up at 5 o'clock. So that had like.
Oh, Mommy, you pick me up and you.
That's right. What time did Daddy pick you up?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Right. Good job.
And so now he like barely even asks me.
Awesome.
And so I wanted to find out from you guys, like, does he say anything else about it, or
Not
birthday?
much.
I have a fight on mine.
you do?
He just verifies whenever we drop him off who's picking him up, basically.
Yeah. So when he comes, he's like, oh, like, who's gonna come? Like, just having a fun.
Yeah. I've been trying to ask him what he wants for dinner so that he knows that he's coming home for dinner.
Yeah.
Things like that. So when I drop him off, he rarely asks, are you going to come get me? But still, right when we get in the car, it's like, you're going to come get me, right? It's like, yes, what do you want to do for dinner?
Yeah.
But here lately, I haven't been dropping him off as often because I've been working earlier.
Yeah, he's done, like, tremendously better. Like, it went from probably 100 times a day asking, like, all day, like, when's my dad coming? When's my dad coming?
Oh.
To, like, I don't think he's asked me, did you ask Miss Page today when Daddy's coming? I don't think you asked me. No. So, no, he hasn't, like, really asked me at all.
Good.
And then another skill that we were working on was remembering parts of the story. Yes.
What those things on the floor?
Those little eggs, I think the big kids have those eggs. This is where the big kids come. And the other one was like remembering parts of the story. Because I found that like if I read a book or something and then ask him a question, he may not necessarily be able to like retell it. So that's where I started like the talking stick day that you see. And so he's done like super good with those.
Awesome.
Like he tells me everything that I'll do at home. And so I was going to show you some videos from like his progress from like January to now.
I noticed he's got a lot better, like retelling parts of movies and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like saving the lines before they come on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's listening better, which is
Yeah, that
contributing to
too.
that a lot.
Yeah, it was like I was focusing on like more his expressive language, like being able to tell me stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's what like I just noticed like the more we did the talking sticks, the more like details and confidence and stuff he would have.
Yes.
So I think I
I've
have
noticed some
one.
big changes at him at home too.
So this is one from I think from September. You can kind of see where it's like I noticed that it was like he was a little bit inaudible, like hard to hear, or like hard to understand. And so this is him in September.
I remember seeing that video and I was like, oh no.
So that was like one of the first ones. You can see how small he was. And so then
Grown a lot.
this is him today. And so I recorded this when he was telling all the other kids, like basically to be quiet while he was talking, because that's another one of my things is like, you know, everybody needs to show respect to other people when you're talking. And so he said it himself, like, you guys are talking, and I'm talking right now, if that's not what you're supposed to do.
It's awesome.
So this is him today.
Now that's Steve. And here's the mommy. Here's the that's it. Now here's the baby.
I think Elon's trying to tell you guys that when he's speaking, that it's not nice that you guys are speaking too. So we're gonna give him and Will his turn, and we're gonna zip our lips, right? Because that's showing what? Kindness.
Here's the daddy. Mommy. Mommy.
I think he like talks on it all the time. Yeah, so you see, like, he goes into, like, great detail about, like, his stories and stuff now. And so, like, I'm, like, super proud of him for, like, his progress so far. So, most of my papers and everything I've been writing have been about, like, his progress and his language skills.
That's so great.
And then I have some just, like, silly videos of, like,
Oh, this is a silly one.
oh, this is him.
It's like this. Look at this. That's mine.
He's so funny.
Yeah, so he's like super engaged and like happy to come to school, and so that's another one of the skills is like the approaches to learning and play that we look for. And so he's always eager. Like as soon as he walks in, he knows what center he likes. You know, as I'm sure you guys know, he loves like math stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I think that once he gets older and goes to school, like that'll be one of his
sure.
one of his biggest strengths.
It's exciting.
Did you guys have any like questions or?
I mean, I'm just grateful to see the improvements and strides that he's made, and yeah,
How is he with his anger management?
He's done a lot better with that as well. So
Yeah.
I find that when he does become upset, he goes himself and walks off. He'll go straight to the book center. He'll ask for like one of the little sensory toys, and then he's fine. I'll see him like 5 minutes later, and he's like, "Miss Paige, I'm done with the sad toy now." And so even like if we're doing an activity and like he's had the issue problem solving, I kind of just let the kids kind of figure it out for themselves instead of always intervening. So even if he's upset, he'll just walk to the back instead of like
yeah,
being confrontational.
that's great.
I think I have one other video, and it was a time when he was upset. But you see, like he used a sensory toy, and he was able to tell me like what he needed. Well, see, he was able to at least tell me, like, okay, it was because she did this, and now I'm feeling sad about it. Because before, I think he would just become kind of withdrawn or just, like, act out instead of, like, tell me. But
He still does that at home too. Sometimes he'll withdraw for a minute, and we kind of have to just back off and let him be, and then he'll.
But it's definitely not nearly as long as it used
No,
to be.
it used to be upwards of half hour long at least,
yeah.
where he'd shut down. Good job, buddy.
Good job.
And he shuts down on me sometimes.
Yeah,
But even if he does that, I just kind of just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't really need me for anything, then I kind of just let him, like,
yeah,
figure out his own emotions.
yeah. We've talked about that a few times in the car coming to school. He'll be like, I don't want to go to school today because yesterday a friend was mean to me, or somebody told me to get out of block center or something, and I wanted to play in there.
Mommy,
And we talked about sharing. He says, you're right, I have to share. He always tells me, Miss Page told me this, Miss Page told me that, so he talks about you all the time too.
Does he talk about, like, the other kids or anything? Yeah.
He's always talking about Wyatt and Josie and Dylan. Those
Yeah,
are his
they
three
pretty much
people,
play
and Maddie.
together. Yeah,
He's always talking about them.
he's doing really great. few pieces of art. So I'll be using these like in my portfolio, or like his process art. And so you can see like if he loves to paint, he tries different things. That's something else we look for. Like he might paint over here, then over here. But he actually like engages in our activity. And then this is another one of like, you know, we were doing the letters. And so I found him like this is some of his just free art he's done on his own, and he'll be writing his letters.
Wait, he did this?
Yeah, he did those.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then there's his bees.
Bees, yeah.
And so those are like already showing like emerging skills in
Wow.
writing. So if he's doing this now, then I'm sure like he'll be doing really great in kindergarten.
Great. That's him.
Yep, that's all he is.
That's incredible. I saw that rabbit, that picture of the rabbit you guys
Uh-huh.
have, and he was so close to being totally inside the lines.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that is pretty great.
And I usually don't tell them like what art you know like
Yeah,
this.
it looks like a zero.
That's what I was thinking from Nightmare Before Christmas, but he hasn't seen that. I don't think.
I don't typically tell them like how to do art. Like I let them kind of just do it on their
Sure.
own. So I'm really big on like you know the collages and stuff, just seeing what they do. And so these are like this is just what you know comes to
great.
him. And so I did this whole thing. The sock.
Wow.
You can see
You
how
can see
he
inside the
like
lines there.
he you know picked the yellow colors for the bottom and
Great.
different color for the top. But just showing like his different creativity.
Great.
He really great with his fine motor skills like cutting and doing like you know he already has the pencil for the right. So that's something else.
And
to
if
work
you
on.
wanted to even mention with scissors and stuff, he used to come home after scissor play with holes in his shirt.
Oh really?
I used to know when it was scissor play day because
Yeah.
there were holes in his shirt.
He does great now. Like he
That's
just sits
wonderful.
there because he'll even cut like little you know teeny tiny pieces like that.
It's great.
You see how he cut it to like fit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. He did this.
Yeah, so this is another one of the skills they look for too. Is like
My goodness.
when they're already like so. This is how they recognize faces. So that's all him: his feet, arms,
Wow.
mouth, eyes.
That's great, buddy.
And then remember we did the rain cloud. We made his rain cloud.
That's so cool.
And this is more like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed like he's been doing that a lot lately. More letters.
Yeah. Wow.
And then just more free art and painting.
That's great.
And then this was like a really cool one, the chalkfish.
That's really
And so he explained to me that he wanted to do like mixed colors. So he asked one of the other friends, like, hey, can I borrow your orange? And then he did that, and then all the rest of them.
That's so cool.
I think he has.
He has come a really long way. And I really appreciate you guys like letting me work with him. And so
Well, we appreciate you working with them.
yeah, and I selected Eli because I've had him since he was 2. So
Yeah.
so you were singing the Friendship Circle. You remember that song? Did you guys have any more questions or anything before I start recording?
So I know Carissa said that he was going to go over to her class in about August.
Yeah.
I'm considering putting him in pre-K.
I was gonna ask you about that. So, of course, like we would miss all the kids, but I would definitely say that NC Pre-K is definitely gonna, boost those skills.
Yeah, that's what Chris was telling us. And of course, bless you. That was that if I wanted to keep him here, then of course she'd be happy to have him. And I think Chris is great, and I think the school's great, so I have no problem with that. But she did say that her resources are more limited, and there's more assistance, there's more aides, they're able to get more problem focused. So I'm considering doing that. Do you think that going into that would be a hard transition for him to go into pre-K?
I don't think so. I think it would be super beneficial because what I found is like once they already go into that school setting, by the time they're in kindergarten, it's like it all comes to them. So they're not dealing with like separation anxiety and figuring it out and all that in kindergarten because they've already done it in pre-K.
Sure.
So I think he's ready because he loves working in groups, working with the other kids and being engaged with learning. So
That's great.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad to hear that this hopefully won't be a difficult transition.
I don't think
I
so.
think if anything, it'll be hard just going to a new building for him.
Yeah,
But
and I mean, all kids are gonna have like some kind of anxiety at first, but I think that with time, they have some really good teachers there, so
yeah,
I think he'll do great.
sounds great. I actually went by to pick up an application. I didn't have any, so I gotta go print it out at home, I guess.
Well, how would you feel about it? Are you ready?
I mean, am I ready? No. I still can't believe my kid's 4.
Yeah.
Do I think it's best for him and will I get ready? Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I wasn't ready to drop him off his first day of daycare either.
Yeah.
And he had just turned 1 when I first brought him to the daycare he was first at.
Did you make a
And
friendship circle?
After,
Oh, that's what you made us band.
and they're all facing the same direction too.
Yeah.
That is so cool. But
We haven't even done that song like in months. He likes it. Would you, Eli? I'm gonna go ahead and start recording now.
sounds good.